Hey, how about a nice hand for Cliff? I'm glad he's here because I'm not the oldest guy tonight. Well, there goes my cane. So I was born in the 70s, and I'm very grateful that I was. There were no cell phones, so there was no documentation, and therefore no indictments. You know, we didn't have allergies like the kids now. There was no peanut allergy. People weren't afraid of wheat. There was no ADHD. There's a whole generation of kids now that could be taken out by a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You know, when I was young, we used to go to strip clubs. We used to smoke cigars. We would drink scotch. We used to have a great time. Now, guys, they go to kava bars. They smoke blueberry vapes. They drink kombucha. And they roll little joints with filters. I've never seen a filter on a joint. And they sit around the kava bar and they talk about their feelings. We didn't have feelings. We had cocaine. We had Quaaludes, but we had no feelings. And what happened to pubic hair? Pubic hair is gone. There's no more shag. It's all hardwood now. When I was a young guy, you had to be very intrepid to muff dive. There was a very specific technique. Let me show you. You wanted to get those loose hairs out of the way because you didn't want to choke. Now, that was before menopause. After menopause, you do the same blow, but it's to get the dust out of the way, you know, like a 1980s Nintendo cartridge. So going through menopause with my wife was an interesting time. I like to refer to menopause as the thermostat wars. She would set the thermostat down to 65. It was so cold in the bedroom. We'd have intermittent flurries. We had our own private climate crisis going on. And I'm in bed one night and I hear, I get a little excited, a little louder, a little faster. I'm really, really getting excited now. I'm thinking, now, it was the little fan from her nightstand. She was just trying to cool herself off. I had a complete different buzzing in mind. You know you're getting old when your balls are longer than a CVS receipt. You know, when I was a kid, I used to like to get buzzed with my friends. We put on some Led Zeppelin, smoke a couple of joints, polish off a six-pack, get a nice buzz going on. At my age now, I just stand up really fast and I let my blood pressure take over. You know, I went to the doctor because my hands were hurting, my joints were hurting, my knees, my hips, my neck. I go to the doctor, he takes x-rays, and he puts them up on the board. And there's all these like little clouds in my joints and up and down my spine. He says to me, "Do you know what this is?" I said, "Oh shit, what is it, bone cancer?" He says, "No, it's not that bad." He says, "It is arthritis." He says, "And you're going to have to learn to deal with it. It's painful and arthritis makes everything stiff." Not everything. You know, I was thinking, these people on OnlyFans are making a ton of money. And I thought I would start up my own version of OnlyFans. It's going to be targeted to people who have had multiple orthopedic surgeries. And I'm going to call it Only Scars. You know, when I was moving down to Florida, people said to me, "Are you going to miss the seasons?" And I was like, "I don't think so." I said, "But, you know, I come to realize that we've got seasons down here, right? You got dry season, you got pollen, you got love bugs, and you got hurricane." Now, love bugs is the worst season, right? You're driving on 75, the copulating love bugs are hitting the windshield like machine gun fire. You get home and your windshield is just covered with schmutz from the love bugs. So you get the Windex, you get the paper towels, you're spraying, you're scrubbing, you're spraying, you're scrubbing. But you know what? You can't ever get rid of it all. It's like Mother Nature's cum stain. There's always a little bit of residue left behind. You know, my wife accuses me of having Italian Alzheimer's. And I have to agree with her. I tend to forget the things that frankly just aren't important to me. And she worries about the fact that maybe I am, starting to forget way too much stuff. But she really doesn't have to worry because, as fast as I move, it's not like I'm going to wander off. I was in China one time, and I'm at the Great Wall in a place called Bada Ling. Not Bada Bing, but Bada Ling. And as I'm standing there, these Chinese people are sidling up next to me, smiling, and somebody's taking a picture. I didn't understand why. I figured it was just because I was American and I looked different. Well, I called my wife and I told her that this was going on. And she says to me, well, it's obvious. They just thought that you were Homer Simpson. Okay, that's my time. Thank you, Eds. Thank you, Levi. Enjoy the rest of the comics.
All right, we can go on for Rocky.